Hi, I'm back. I'm back, and it is fuck it, we're doing this on Friday. Because so excited to do. Is it gonna be weird? Okay. Let me know if it's gonna be weird because I had to sort of just I made the mistake of going on the road without my laptop. I'm working from this iPad, which I'm very grateful to have, but it is not so user friendly. So let's see here. I don't know if it's working on Facebook. Um, and I don't know if it's working on Instagram yet. We shall find out. Um, yeah, but in the meantime, kids, I am going to start talking to you about the things that I said I was going to talk to you about 2 Wednesdays ago, which I'll tell you what happened. Americana Fest interfered with last Wednesday's broadcast, and now I'm on the road. I am in Ohio. So that's going to influence the show tonight, which is Married to Monday / Wedded to Wednesday / fuck it, we're doing this Friday. Which is well, now it's turning into maybe an educational human design podcast disguised as a 4-song concert in which I play you something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. And since no one is here because 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday probably isn't the best time to do it, I am going to direct you guys to the replay so that you can learn about the things that I'm going to speak about today. Oh, hi. Hi, Mary. Little Aunt Gram's house is here, of course. Okay. Oh, it was 9 days ago. Oh, it was 16 days ago. Oh, Diesel. Great. Diesel is here. He's right out there at the fire. Because I told him that it would be distracting if he came to the podcast. Okay, he's waving at me. I gotta show you guys. Okay. Wave to everybody, Diesel. There he is. So, what's happening here is that I am at No Surf House, which is an abode that Diesel got the funding for to house musicians who are on the road. As you know, the road can be a hard place. It is feeling especially hard today. But that's just because, who knows? I mean, it's got something to do with the road, but it also has something to do with hormones. Okay. So I'm gonna shut these blinds because there's a glare, but maybe we'll see again a little bit. All right. That's fun. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna just check the Instagram comments real quick and see who's here. I smell diesel fumes. Diesel. Yeah, he's right out there. Okay. Is there no picture over here on Instagram? I can't tell what's going on. I'm just gonna, I don't know. Can't tell what's going on again. Well, I don't know. Is there, I guess when I switch over to check the comments, it goes dark maybe. So I'm just gonna see if I can keep my phone on long enough to be able to read your comments over there. No, it's not gonna work. Well, whatever. Why don't y'all just go, I think I'm getting a message that it's not working in Facebook either, so why don't y'all just go to YouTube? Talk to me, but I'll come over and check every now and then. Okay, so as I said, welcome to Monday. I'm gonna play something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, except they're not all gonna be songs because, as you know, I have some human design to discuss with you because I have looked up all of your charts. If you sent in baller dollars last week, I know so much more about you than you know about yourself, but I'm so excited to educate you on this. However, because I'm in Ohio, be right back. I was reminded that years ago, when I tried to go over to the dark side to learn how to uh, try to pitch songs for film and TV so that I could make money, I wrote a song about Ohio. I actually wrote a song about going back to Ohio, about leaving the city life for good old Ohio. And this is my country Kesha project that I'm really excited to play for you. And we all have to thank Mary Little Had a Lion for this. Mary Little Had a Lion, because, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but Mary, I knew that she was jamming out to this because she found the song, right? I put the song in an ad. I put the ad on Facebook or Meta or whatever to try to, get people out to the shows up here in the Midwest. And Mary Googled it to see if she could search it, and it was on my SoundCloud. So I didn't think I had released it, but I did put this song on SoundCloud. Anyway, it's not the kind of song that translates to guitar. Um, but it kind of does. I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe I'm going to do this Country Kesha project before I die. Okay, so in honor of Ohio and the tour that I'm on, coming to you live from the road from Cleveland, here is something very old. It's got to be 8 years old. My friend sent me a track to Top Line. So, like, he had the track, and then I wrote all the lyrics and melody over it. I believe it was he had gotten a brief for Elle King, and I was like, well, she's from Ohio, so that's how this came about. But it's weird to get a brief for an artist who like writes their own songs. Why would she do this song? But maybe she still will. I don't know. Um, you know, could make it better. Anyway, something old, back to Ohio. Mary, this one's for you. Lived out my LA dream. I had my New York flame. Don't think that city scene is everyone. But I've been thinking I just ought to go back to my roots. I'm gonna head on down to that old time saloon. You wanna bother me, all of me trying to pick up my tab. Don't you know this is a stick up, so just give me the cash. I could turn it on, turn it up in the back of my getaway truck, rip through my designer jeans, cause I'm packing underneath. High dollar, high class, right up to the line dash, tally ho, gas and go back to Ohio. I'm going back. I'm going back to Ohio. I'm going back. I'm going back to Ohio. Yes, I clean up all right in a little black dress, candlelight. But I confess I'm just an outlaw in disguise. And I've been thinking I just ought to go back to my roots. I'm gonna trade up this plane and get back into my boots. You got that hunger, no wonder, baby. I know you wanna get under me, but just so you understand, I ain't no Kardashian. Turn it on, turn it up. In the back of my getaway checker, it through my designer jeans, cause I'm packing underneath. Hot dog, the dine and dash, tally ho. Guess go back to Ohio. All that free wine and cheese, it'll never be enough for me. That's the trouble with bubbly. I mean, got anything stronger, please? Hot dollar, high class, right up to the dine and dash, tally ho. Guess and go back to Ohio. I'm going back. I'm going back to Ohio. I'm going back. I'm going back to Ohio. Turn it on, turn it up. In the back of my turnip truck, rip through my designer jeans, 'cause I'm packing underneath. High dollar, high class, right up to the dine and dash, tally ho. Guess and go back to Ohio. All that free wine and cheese, it'll never be enough for me. That's the trouble with bubbly. Got anything stronger, please? High dollar, high class, right up to the dine and dash, tally ho. Guess and go back to Ohio. How about that? Diesel, I can hear it out there. The replay. Oh, it just went out? What do you mean it went out? It's back. Oh, it's back? It's out. It's back. Okay, it disappears when you check the comments. Oh, okay, I'm checking the comments. Oh, hey, Evan Boyer. Okay. Oh, no. It's Fornication Friday. That's funny. Turn up the turnip truck. I added that. I actually got, hi, Kara Granger, come on in. Caitlin's bum shaking cured my depression. I know. You know what? I put a little, oh, shit. What am I gonna do? I can't be over here to talk to you guys on these comments. Still definitely better than, don't say that, Diesel. She could hear you. I'm sure Alice isn't gonna be here, but he just said that he likes my song better than Alice's Ohio song. But her Ohio song must be really bad, because seriously, that might be the funnest and the worstest song that I've ever written. You guys, I don't know how to check your comments without the screen going dark. This is the issue that I'm having with this stupid iPad. And I need to be able to talk to you guys because I'm about to do all your charts. How can I see these comments? Diesel, why don't you let me use your laptop so that I can check Facebook comments? You know what I mean? Or these comments. Okay, so I'm just gonna launch into this, all right? Because you are watching Fuck It, It's Friday, and it's Wedded to Wednesday / Married to Monday, which is it's a 4-song concert disguised as a pseudo self-help group, but now also like a human design podcast. Because last week, everybody who sent in their baller dollars, they sent me their birthdays. I think Deb Avery might be the only birthday I didn't get. So if you're watching this, Deb, and I think you're Deb, who I'm gonna see in Columbus, but if you're watching this, send me your birthday because I can still look it up. Okay, so what I want to talk to you guys about is I hear Diesel, he's coming. He's gonna bring me a laptop, I bet, so that I can log in and try to do this on there and not on my iPad. Okay. So something new. For something new, I want to talk about the thing that I am still doing. I did not lose interest in this, as I thought that I would have last week. Come on in. I thought it would be you.
Yeah. You good guess. Do you want the phone or do you want the laptop? The phone you can
I can't see the comments. Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, how?
It's just, I don't know, whatever you're doing to see the comments on there, it just shuts off the camera for everybody else.
I know, because it's the laptop and I'm supposed to be able to go back and forth, but it's just the it's not the laptop, it's the iPad. And the iPad is like ruining everything. Like I can't do anything on this iPad, but I'm very grateful to have this iPad.
Hi.
How? Show me how I get it. I don't see the comments on the phone. Like show.
Well, you might have to be on somebody else's.
I can't move this, but you can come in and say hello. You can come in and say hello, everybody. You guys all remember, you remember Diesel from being one of the ballers of Muchhausen by proxy.
What's up? That's me.
Here he is. So, and in a minute, I can flip over and we can see how everyone said hello to you.
Well, in a minute, we'll figure it out. Yes. Okay, hold on.
Okay. Also, that's going to die.
Yeah. Do you need a plug?
Do you have one? Do you have one? The USB-C?
Yeah. Hold
Okay. But do you know how to? Okay.
on. Well, okay.
okay. It's
I'll figure one thing out at a time.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, well, okay, while we're doing this so that I don't launch into this and then go on to another thing, because you know, these things tend to be a little bit fluid. But since we've covered something old and it was back to Ohio, I just want to tell you guys that. Hi. Thank you so much.
No problem.
How do I see the comments though?
Okay, well, let me figure out that part.
Can you see them on your phone?
Yes.
How come I can't see them on my
I
phone?
don't know. I am not a meta programmer. Okay. I don't know how you watch a live of your own live stream. That's
Yeah. Well, I'm not broadcasting from. Oh, whoops.
any of that.
You guys, sorry I didn't do my hair for you today. I will unplug the hair blow dryer. So it's not coming up for you there?
No, I don't see a way to watch the live from your profile, but you can watch it from mine.
Will you log into your account on that computer so that I can see the comments?
Instagram doesn't work well on computer. But
I don't want to keep you. No, it does. It does. It's working. And then you can go back to your Fire if you want to, or whatever you want to do. Okay. So, so the reason why we're doing Fuck This on Friday is because was supposed to have a show up here tonight on Friday. And now I don't. It fell through.
My fault.
So, well, I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's the way that it is. It is the way that it is. It is something I feel that I need to discuss, but I can't do it because I just can't do it while you're hovering.
I'm trying to find out how to work this for you, okay?
I know that's not your fault either. It's my mother's fault. She used to hover and I couldn't do anything. And I can't. We have to make that quiet.
It's quiet now.
Oh, great. Okay. But you can see comments?
I mean, nobody's commented in the last second.
Somebody, would you just put a little comment in there? Okay. Thanks.
Sure.
Hey, this is great. Okay.
Okay.
So
there's one problem.
This is going to go blank for a minute, but you're going to hear, this is so fun because do you think that in all of your experiences of watching Married to Mondays that like the train wreck part of it is fun?
Yes.
It has been fun?
I mean,
this is like an epic fail. What's happening right now?
It's always fun. I kind of have to stay close by because if that goes to sleep, you're going to need my fingerprint.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to let it go to sleep.
Okay.
Okay, comment. Okay, hey, Jake Rambling Blade. All right, great. Oh, Evan, comment. Okay. Hey, Timothy. Okay. All right. We're back. Ooh, Chelsea Levitt's here. Oh, no. I love her. You know her? I love her.
I heard that part.
Well, Chelsea, if you're still here, this is what I'm doing. Okay.
Anything else?
No. Thank you very much for.
Just keep moving your finger on the trackpad. It'll stay awake.
Okay.
All
right. You'll know if I need you to come and you'll know if I need your finger.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
You would
it'll be
say-
obvious. Yeah.
Okay. We'll be outside.
Okay. Leave your finger. Yeah. You know, I did just have like this crazy, like, I just had a vision that I like whacked Diesel's finger off with the carving knife, and I feel bad that I had that vision. Okay, whoa, I gotta get back over here. Okay. All right. Hello. Okay. Hi, everybody. Here we are again. So, welcome to Fuck This, We're Doing This Friday / Wedded to Wednesday / Made to Monday, where I play something old, something new, some barred, something blue, or I just trick you into group therapy, or now I give you human design readings because, okay, all right. And before I do that, I talk about my Adderall, which you can tell that I am still not on. And I'm sure that it is abundantly clear. But I'm not going to play, I'm not going to play dealer just yet because there's still a chance that in the next 7:26, we're just getting started. In the next 24 minutes, this is going to be a long one. There is still a chance that I could take that Adderall, right? Just for the sake of everybody moving on with their lives. So, more on that in a minute. I want to go back to what I was just talking about before Diesel left the room, is that the live music situation is, it ain't what it used to be. The touring situation is really hard. I think that it's easy to get people to come out in the markets where, you know, they can already sort of trust what the show is going to be. But it's definitely harder to, it's not like I used to be able to just sort of count on 10 or 20 people showing up, you know, just sort of not even really knowing who I was, whether they, it translated to, someone found me online and, you know, came to a show. That used to happen a lot. Like it would be people who, you know, had heard it. I came up on their Spotify, or it would be someone who came across a live stream like this or something. And I don't know if it really has so much to do with COVID. Um, I think so. I think that, you know, everybody needed that break and got more comfortable with the idea that we don't have to leave our houses, and there was some healing around that occurred, that we could actually just, you know, be in our own spaces, and there was healing that occurred because there was actually a medical need for that too, right? Like we were trying to quarantine our germs and things. But then there is something, I played a concert the other night to a very small crowd, and after this concert, people were talking about, oh, they're having trouble playing my video over here. Okay, did I miss anything? A high as a high as a high. Okay. So, Diesel, I don't think that internet's working, but let me know. I'm just gonna keep going. So, anyways, the the experience of going out to play for me is going to be just as important as if there are 2, 6, 4, 8, 10 people in the room, as if there are 200 people in the room. Um, because it's actually really interesting that it's like in my design, right? That I like do this thing that I do, which is It's in here. It says it, right? So you like find your I also cannot help this thing, right? Like I feel very compelled to try and break us out of our normal stagnation. And that's why I come on and do these little live streams that I do, because I get energy from it. I get energy, I focus myself, and it really helps when there's, many people watching, but it doesn't make it less for me that it's only the 8 friends who watch, who get something out of this Married to Monday thing that we've created. Um, if anything, I think that there are gonna be people few and far between who wanna be sort of on the leading edges of these discussions, or maybe who wanna, buy a $10 ticket to sit in the audience and listen to me try to talk myself out of, a huge verbal mess that I got myself into. And so I really just need to say that we need to go out. We need to go out and we need to try to see live music and to try and shake ourselves out of this sort of comfort of this stupor that we're in, because we're going to lose it. And it's a very special thing that occurs. And I don't know what happens to the youngers who never get to experience that sort of organic exchange of what happens in a show when, like, you write a song and you sing it, and all of a sudden there's no barrier between you and the other person who didn't have to be in tears that night, or just got to leave all of their problems for a minute and go to another space or sort of think about something from a completely different perspective. Um, Also, Diesel has no surf house, which is like a housing unit meant to provide housing for musicians. And he, what's the point of having housing for musicians if there's no one at the shows? So I'm going to do better. I don't think that anybody should go out to see live music just to. Diesel, can you turn the volume down out there? Because it's really hard for me to focus when I can hear myself talk. Thanks. So I don't think anybody should be going out for pity. I think that's also part of the problem, is that like the market can be sort of so oversaturated now. And, if you're like, oh, I've got to go out to see my friend's show because they're coming out to my show, or, I have to show up for them because they'll be mad at me if I don't. Like, I think those are really I think you should stay home. But if there is something for you there that is for you there, like, is this going to elevate your day? Is this gonna give you, is this gonna feed you in a way that you're not gonna be fed by the digital sort of onslaught of everything? Is is something gonna happen that you're not quite expecting, that might be positive, that might, are you gonna afterwards, are you gonna say, I am really glad that I went and that? Those are the are you gonna feel a certain level of satisfaction? Those are the questions that I just want us to be asking. And even all the ballers of Munchhausen by proxy, I would love it if you guys would, like, well, this isn't true, but I would understand if you wanted to skip one of the live streams one day so that you could go out and catch a live show instead. That said, this live stream that I just started doing on a whim, and people come and go, but we have like the 8 OG hardcores, except for Kent, who died. But like, you guys, I had never met Mary Had a Little Lion. And Mary Had a Little Lion came to the show in Pittsburgh, and Mary Had a Little Lion came to West Side Bowl. And I swear I could not be more excited to have met Mary Had a Little Lion. Okay, she brought me a sugar scrub, all right? And she brought me these mums. Okay. These are mums. And then we went bowling. And she got all the jokes. And I met her amazing husband, Ralph. And you guys are just not going to believe this. You think, you know, I'm up here, you know, just talking all kinds of shit about myself. And we don't really know that much about each other. But, if I were going to make up a baller dollar ditty about Mary Had a Little Lion, it would definitely have to involve that she and Ralph sell very authentic kilts. They have like kilts. I'm talking the Scottish kilt. Like they they create and market the Scottish kilt, and they go around doing Scottish kilt shows. You can't make that shit up. It is so fascinating and interesting. And then she gave me my chart reading last night, and she's going to start doing chart readings. So everybody needs to get a reading for Mary Had a Little Lion and order some sugar scrub. And I'm going to do human design readings, and just who knows where it's going to lead. But I got to tell you something. If Mary did not come to those shows, I don't think I think that I don't know if I would have had any energy today, like I just got there was so like I got so much um it on so many levels. Like there was a satisfaction, and there was just feeling an honor, and just there was something very sweet about how this live stream, like we met on the internet, but because we took it the next step and like made it real, there's like that's a real relationship now. You know what I mean? That's a real connection, and that's a real friendship. Like, I mean, on, on a gradient, right? Like, I'm probably not going to be in her wedding. Well, she's already married, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that it's solidified. It's not this thing that we're just doing in this digital time space reality anymore, where nothing ever really lands. Like you can't tell if anything's real. Like I have all this Spotify listenership and whatnot, but it doesn't actually translate to people like coming to shows. And I really um I love what I do. Like I love I'm not that good at it here. I'm not that great at the live stream thing. Like I love to play songs and tell jokes in front of audiences, and like play with that energy and mold that energy and have a good time. And I need you to be able to do it. And if you don't come, there's really no reason for me to do it. And then I can't figure out like why should I why it's very hard not to double bind. Like it's very hard not to be like, well, it's because I'm not good enough. Actually, I know I am good enough. I know I'm not good enough at the mobilizing of people, or I know I'm not good at knowing who is in Ohio to email. And I know that I'm not good at, you know, getting the ads up more than like a few days before the show. I'm not good at that. But like I used to not really have to be that good at that. So I know that there's been a shift, and I've only gotten better. Like I've only gotten better at this. So it's not like a soapbox thing. It's just I do think that we're going to have to make some effort to save the live music situation, and to save the touring songwriter, because um I think it's worth it. I really do. Um anyway, that's not really something new or something old. But maybe I'll play you a real song before we get off today, just so that I can try to quantify what this is that I'm asking of you. And I also just wanted to tell you how, like Mary's beautiful, she's beautiful and she's cool. It's not like, y- y- it's not like we're all just hiding in our houses because we're like horrible. It's like, no, like this is just another tool. This is just another tool of connection. It's how we connect, but we can't just leave it here. Like we have to actually live. You know what I'm saying? So I love you, Mary. You're my bestie. Okay. All right. So something new. I'm going to go into human design, because last week I told you guys that I had discovered this human design thing, and that it was like I stopped taking my Adderall because as long as I live in accordance with my design, I did not lose energy or focus. So, and then last week I said, whoever sends in the baller dollars, I'm gonna look up your chart and go over your energy type, because my energy type is a generator. And I have been wanting to, stop. I've been trying to find hacks to help me get off this drug that I know is not good for me, that makes me sort of bypass my sacral authority and my vagus nerve. And it just doesn't feel like it's healthy. Like it always feels like it hinders my spiritual connection. You guys know that I go to, I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for a long time, and it's like such a slippery slope when you're on meth or, a molecule off, or even just, that's a controlled version of this. But it's been very hard for me to feel sober, and also to balance, like, oh, do I not know how to just feel good, right? Like, if can I not accept that a medicine is helpful to me, and then just like allow myself to take it. So um I'm not I do think, like, if this goes well, there that I might actually be able to be very helpful to people who might want to try to get off of pharmaceuticals. But I'm not going to talk about that. I just have to talk about it because I am having so many breakthroughs around learning this information. And so, if as long as I keep talking about it, then I will continue to generate energy and focus, which is what I need to do. So, if you guys aren't interested in this part of it, you can just go ahead and tune out and then come back and I'll play Dr. Dealer before I leave. Okay, so what is human design? Last week I talked a little bit about this. It's like calculated the way that your astrological chart is calculated, except for it's also filtered through the I Ching and the 64, like the meridians. I don't think there's 64 meridians, but anyway, the I Ching, the Chinese sort of thing. And then the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, and the Buddhist, the Hindu chakra centers. Only in human design there are 9 as opposed to 7. And then like quantum physics, epigenetics, all of that. Okay, so essentially what this is at the time of your birth, based on the placement of all of the matter in the universe, you get an energetic blueprint. Make of that what you will. I think there are parts of it resonate for me, parts of it are hard to understand, parts of it feel kind of far-fetched. No more far-fetched than the Big Bang Theory, and certainly no more far-fetched than the notion that I could have been, at one point I was just some dude's rib. Um, but nonetheless, taking what resonates for you from the information, I think, is a good place to start, as opposed to like arguing with the science of it. But that's just me. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the energy types. There's so much in human design. So if you go to, even if you just Google human design, I had my own reading today with Madeline Evergreen, who has a podcast called The Beginner's Guide to Human Design. And she also has a website. So if you look it up right now, if you just look up Madeline Evergreen and then you enter your birthday, time, and place, it'll pull up a chart for you that's going to look something like this. Okay. This is really complicated. Okay. And I have listened to all 150 episodes of her podcast, The Beginner's Guide to Human Design, mainly because I just couldn't stop, because I got obsessed, which is a very good thing for me. And, when it's not about a person who's toxic. And she really takes you through like a course that way. So you can go to her website, you can go to the guy who was essentially the creator of human design in 1987. His name's Ra Uru Hu. Um, Jovial is the name of that site, but there's Jenna Zoe's site. Her app is called Align, and there are just so many places where you can go and get your chart and have your chart. And I suggest doing that because I have all of your charts if you sent me any baller dollars. And so I'm going to be talking to you about what these things mean in your specific chart. Okay. So also, the baller dollars used to be that I would play you a baller dollar ditty, and I don't know if I'm doing that or not anymore, but if you want to send in baller dollar ditties, I think I'm going to be going over human design questions for you. I really don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is like absolutely batshit crazy, really. But I know so much about this now, and there's really no arbiter of this, right? And I've learned so much helpful information, and I think that I've had so many of my friends just in my life be so interested in it that I feel like if this is real, right? If this paradigm shift is happening and we are going to have to learn how to work with our energetics, then I have a responsibility really to start teaching it now. But also, if I can figure out how to overcome my own challenges and that this is the way, and that this is how I can figure out, like, it has done so much to explain for me, like, why do I try so hard? Why do I bang my head against a wall and things not work out? By the way, I can't read your comments because I let that computer die. And Diesel, I just don't know. So I'm just going to do this. And then I don't know. DM me questions. That's what we should do. Okay. So there are 5 energy types. So I'm going to just go ahead and go into this because I'm going to tell you guys what you are. Okay. So of all of the folks who send in baller dollars, send in 5 baller dollars, but that's how you're going to participate because that's the best way I can think of. So Steven is, write this down, Steven, but you are a manifesting generator with sacral authority, and your personality profile is a 2/4, the easy breezy genius. More on that later. Okay, next we have Danny said she might tune in. Dan generator with emotional authority, 6/2, which is the same as my profile. It's really interesting how the 6/2s find each other. John Newquist. John Newquist is a manifester, and this is, man, I am so excited to talk about the manifestors because there's so much conditioning around why you might have an energy type that you just like are totally unconscious of. But I will go into that. So anyway, John, you are a manifestor with emotional authority, and you have a 5/1 profile. And Ra'u, who the inventor of human design, also has a 5/1 profile. He called it the heretic, but Jen, which I could totally see, but Jenna Zoe calls it the challenge solver. So I'll go more into that as well. Let's see. Ryan, you know what you are. Todd Patrick Livingston, if you're here, you probably have a gig tonight. But we know that you're a manifesting generator with emotional authority, and you are a 1/3 profile. Let's see. Mary had a little lion. So I talked to you a little bit about your profile last night, but I couldn't even really get to it. Mary, you are a manifesting generator with sacral authority, and you're a 5/2. So we're just like one number off, really. And let's see who else. Who else? Bornays. Oh, Evan Boyer's here. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, Evan, if you're still here. You're a generator with sacral authority of 4/6. Okay. And so you guys remember what it is that you are, because when I go into the energy types. Okay. Diesel is a generator with emotional authority, and he is a 2/4. Wade, you are a generator with sacral authority and a 5/1. And Catherine is a generator with emotional solar plexus authority, and she is also 5/1. Okay. So these are the 3 sort of like main things to know. Like if you go to a human design meetup, which I did, you guys, I like went to a mixer. I like found some people I don't know, some nerds who were doing a thing, and I like sent in my little RSVP, and then I went and I put on a name tag. Okay, and I said, I'm Caitlin, and I'm a 6/4 generator with sacral. I'm a 6/2 generator with sacral authority. Okay, so I'm going to go into these energy types now. But before I do that, the thing I want to say is this design, this human design here, okay, essentially this energetic blueprint, right? If you were to live in accordance with this, because it's going to tell you like, oh, you you should eat in silence, or you should eat while you're driving, or whatever, you know, it gets that specific. If you were to live in accordance with this, your life purpose would unfold. Like if there was no trauma or conditioning, we would just be our designs. We would just live out our energetic blueprint. But that's not what we're doing here, right? Like what we're doing here is, it's just like anything. It's like you come into the planet, you don't know what's going on, you fuck everything up, and then you try to find your way back to yourself or to your source or to your God. So what I love about this is that there have been things that I have given up on, and there have been things that I just couldn't accept about myself, or that I felt really bad about myself. And after I really dug into my energetic blueprint, I find that there are so many things that are just as they should be, that I should be leaning into, that I should forgive myself for, that I should accept about myself. And then there are other things that I could easily change. So that's why I'm going to start talking about this, because it's fascinating. Okay. So right now on our planet, there are 5 energy types, and there are supposed to be new ones coming forth. And I don't know fuck all about them, but the 5 energy types are, I will go over the first type first, and I made some notes. Okay. So I want to talk about manifestors first. Now, manifestors make up about 8-9% of the population. I was in a conversation, I think, well, I won't say who, but I was in a conversation with somebody who was having like a struggle with this sort of distribution of power, in terms of, oh, well, these people are, 35% of people are this, and 35% of people are this, and only 7% of people are this. And it isn't that, okay? Like, in order for a wheel or an engine to work, right? Like, you need the piston and the cog. Like, one is not more, one isn't, you just don't need as many spokes, right? But like, it's not, one is not, nothing in human design is better than anything else. And also, when Ra Uru channeled this stuff, he gave these sort of masculine definitions to things, but the actual explanation, like the description, or the lengthy definition, is actually like quite intricate. And then, like, for instance, he called himself the heretic. He almost had a little bit of a sadistic sense of humor. So when he says, when one energy type is called a manifester, it does not mean that no one else can manifest, and no one else is a man. All human beings manifest. That is what we're doing, but it is not the energy type, right? So it's not everyone's energy type functions that way. So I am going to talk about the manifester first. It is not a very large part of our population that are manifestors. It is about 7% of people. And John, this is you. So let me look up here and see if we have anybody else. Manifesting generators, I will get to you later. Tom McDaniel is a manifester. That's makes so much sense. Okay, no, I think it's just John. There just aren't that many of them. Anna Bournet is a manifester if she's here. Okay, so essentially, the way that your energy type is designed is based on these motor centers, and like which of these motor centers are defined, and whether or not they're connected to the throat. The throat is it's actually like the manifestation center, which makes sense because it's how we speak, right? We speak things into being, but also it's like the energy center is where all the action takes place. So I'm not going to get into energy centers today because it's a lot. But if you are a manifester, also, I printed out this is Madeline Evergreen's stuff. Like, she has all these cheat sheets, and I took this notebook to my meet and greet where I wore my name tag, and they were like, "Girl, you are such a geek." Okay. And I am. Okay. So here's things to know about manifestors, right? And I'm just going to read to you off of her cheat sheet, and then I'm going to go back into the notes that I took. So the in human design, right? We believe that the soul is in like most, actually I would say we're sort of just taught that our souls are in our bodies, like we house our souls. But in human design, the belief is that the body is in the soul, right? The soul is the aura. There's like an energetic field. So the manifestors have like the biggest circumference of this, and it's just, again, it's just an energy type. And the trick is that some may never be all the way encouraged to embrace that, right? Like I know people who are manifestors who actually come across as being very meek and timid because they were not encouraged. Like, in fact, this energy was discouraged in them. And so they never actually have learned to work with it. They might even be ashamed, right? That things come easily to them. Um, so, but usually the manifestor is a very big in energy. And um, so let me go into manifestor notes really quick because hold on, y'all, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so these are people who make shit happen. It's true. They're meant to initiate. Um, it's interesting that they have an undefined sacral, but I will talk about this later. So they're like a catalyzing force, and they do have this ability to make things happen. They tend to have like a very relentless, compulsive driving energy, which is also interesting because if you're around someone who's a manifestor and they've had that like conditioned out of them, they might come across as, it might still be irritating to you, right? Like you might be like, I just don't know what it is. Like there's something, is it toxic positivity? Like I just don't know what it is. And so it's usually just sort of unharnessed manifestor energy. So these are the people who, no matter what, it's just annoying because they say, oh, I don't know, I just say it and then it just happens, right? Like the time in which they have an impulse or a desire, between the time in which they have the initiation to the time in which the manifestation comes is short, right? It's like they're just those people who, you know, that's their energy. They can work with energy that way. And they might have difficulty understanding why that doesn't happen for other people. Why are other people so stressed out that they just can't like say like, oh, I want a Burmese yellow umbrella. And then all of a sudden somebody sends them one from Amazon, you know? Or they might feel ashamed that those kinds of things come easy and not want to speak up about it or hide. So the thing to know about the manifestor is that you have the key and the ignition. Like if you are the manifestor, you actually don't need anyone else. And this is why a manifestor's a strategy is basically to inform people of what they're doing. Like you don't really need permission. Also, the universe, you are a manifestor because the universe is going to send you impulses because it wants to manifest things that it wants through you. So it is your sort of duty to learn about your authority so you can better hear those calls. Okay, so John, this is you, born doers, eager to make things happen. And then it's the conditioning, the negative conditioning is when this is blocked and you're taught to follow the rules or you're discouraged by adults who don't understand. And then your your presence can push buttons in people. It just can push buttons because of the catalyzing energy. So it's like learning how to work with that. Okay, so if you're a manifestor, and I'm gonna go sort of back into what to do about this energy in a minute. But we have a lot of famous manifestors where like Neil Armstrong, Al Gore, Donald Trump is a manifester, Liv Tyler, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So there's a lot of like really like, you know, balls to the wall energy in manifestors. Also, Jennifer Aniston is a manifester. Okay, so that's just sort of, you know, neither here nor there, you know, pop icon references. Okay, so that's the first type, manifester. 7, 8, 9% of the population. The next type is the generator, pure generator. Okay, so pure generator is about, I think 37, makes up about 37% of the population. Okay, so the thing to know, I'm a generator. I'm a pure generator. And the thing to know about generators is that we are here to, the whole point, we're not here to necessarily like bring things into being. The generator's here to have fun. That's it. We're just here to have fun, which makes so much sense to me because all I ever wanted to do was have fun. And then it was like, people didn't want me to have fun. And then they wanted me to do what they wanted me to do. And I would have to do those things even if it wasn't fun, but I wasn't good at doing those things. Like if they were like, Caitlin, go put on your shoes, and I would go play the piano, that was how I was like generating energy, right? But then they would put a medication on me on a medication so that I will, and which I didn't get on until I was much, much older, but I, you know, it was a problem, right? It was a problem that because this is just how our world and conditioning works. Like, that's a problem. How's she going to function in society if she can't put on her shoes and she just goes and plays the piano? Whereas it would have been better for the whole world if I had just gone and played piano because I would be generating energy. So like nobody likes a burned out generator because you're going to be the person who suck all the energy out of the room, or you're going to bring the energy into it. Again, this is your energetic blueprint. I'm going to go back through and just call out the ballers who are generators. So, I'm talking about you. I am talking about you, Ryan Trusso, Dan. I'm getting to manifesting generators in a minute. David Bournet. I don't know if you're here, but Evan, if you're still here. Diesel is a generator. Wade is a generator. Catherine is a generator. Okay, so it's going to be a large amount of the population are going to be generators. So like a generator, and you know what? Let's go ahead and say that I've talked about something new and now I'm onto something borrowed because I'm definitely borrowing all of your energetic blueprints to like make my point today. So the generator is the energizer battery, right? And I can explain in the energy centers. I think I will talk about this next time, like why certain energy centers are defined and connected and why that would make you a generator. So like all generators though have defined sacral. So we're talking about energy centers next time, but basically just to know you're a workhorse with endless life force energy and that radiates outwards, but it is not to make things happen where it is easy to make things happen as a manifester, right? Like some effort is required on the part of the generator, which is so interesting to me because I definitely feel that I come from a family full of like manifesting generators and manifestors, and they're just like, what's wrong with Caitlin? Like, why isn't this shit popping off for her? Like she works so hard and then like, oh, you've got to, this messaging that I'm just getting to go out and make it happen. That's not how it works for a generator based on how you work with the energy, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So it's been really, really great to learn this. What else can I say about it? Okay. I think the thing to know is that for generators, you're here to create the energy for the whole planet, and like it's important to like if there's only one thing that you ever change in your life or you've moved on from human design forever, if you just knew that like you need to do what lights you up and start saying no to things that don't light you up. I don't know what to tell you about my taxes, but remember how I was telling you the story about how I tuned everybody out who wanted me to sell my car. And then last week I ended up selling my car and he gave me full price. And then he ended up like maybe going to take my songwriting program. And it was like the time because I waited, right? I waited until I actually had my sacral yes to take the action on that before I felt like I had energy for it. And then the time I had to spend on it, which was so much less than the time that I thought I was going to have to spend on it. So, okay. Actually, I am going to talk about this right now. Okay, so because it'll help with the manifesting generator. So the manifestor, right, is the key that's already in the ignition. And the manifestor is meant to inform, right? So you get the impulse, you're supposed to let people know that that's what you're doing. You initiate things, right? You see a girl, you think she's hot, you need to go, right? Like you are the manifestor. The generator, like I think a lot of the sort of trial and error and the failure that I have faced in my life has come from not knowing how to work with the energetics of being a pure generator. So like I can go and 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 go. Like when I wake up, I'm like bam, 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 bam. I just have so much energy and there's so many things that I'm just gonna do. And manifesting generators are this way as well. But I am not meant to initiate or to make things happen. What I am meant to do is wait to respond, right? So the universe will bring me options and I will say, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, so how do you make the decision? The decision is based on your authority. For generators, most of the time, not all of the time, they're generators with emotional authority, which I'll get into, but usually it's a sacral yes. So usually it's a gut feeling. And this is the other thing to know about the different energy centers and how to do your responding and where your authority comes from. The gut feeling is different from the emotional feeling. The emotional feeling is gonna be different from the mental or the splenic. Like, the splenic authority is more to do with, like, fear almost. But I'm not talking about energy centers right now, and I will get into that. So, the generator is meant to wait to respond, to allow there to be some space. So working against sort of the conditioning and the messaging that you got to go out and you got to make it happen, it's actually very challenging for a generator who has all of this sacral energy, to not do anything with that and create a bit of a vacuum so that the universe can fill that vacuum with something that you might actually say yes to, when there's not going to be any space to do that if you're saying yes to every single thing that doesn't really light you up, or maybe you're just going to do it because that person will be mad at you if you don't, or because you feel obligated, and that is how you burn out as a generator. And I feel that I just after the record release, I was like, something has to change because I am so fried. I've just felt like I didn't have any life force energy afterwards, which is another thing. Like, I'm never putting a record out like that again. I'm never gonna I'm never gonna become slave and bondage to my own art anymore. I mean, we only live once. Like, we have to start like doing things we love. Um, okay, so that's all I'm gonna say about the generator right now, although I can go on and on about the generator, obviously, because I am one. But basically, your strategy is to wait, listen for the gut response or for your authority, and then you get going, right? The manifester is meant to inform, I'm doing this, we're creating this, I'm going. The generator is meant to wait until you want to say yes or no to something, and then get the yes and then get going. So the thing about the manifesting generator is that this is interesting because like I really do act like a manifesting generator and I'm not really living by my design that way. And it has a lot to do with the fact that I have a completely open ego center, which I'll go into later. But like basically manifesting generators are people who are both of this. Okay, so who are our manifesting generators? I'm gonna tell you. Steven is a manifesting generator, sacral authority. TPL is a manifesting generator. Mary Had a Little Lion is a manifesting generator. I think that's it for the ballers. So, who's this guy? Who's Devin Christopher Dropka? Oh yeah, I know that is okay. So, so the manifesting generator is somebody who like has elements of both of this, right? They have the energy, they have the manifestation energy to manifest things. Oh, the last thing I just want to say about the generator is it doesn't mean a generator can't manifest. It means that it's going to be, your manifestations are going to come much quicker when you work with this energy the way that you were designed to work with the energy, right? You're not going to have to do as much waiting because you're just going to be living in your bliss and things are just going to start to move and shake. And I'm already experiencing this. Okay. So, um, I'm not speaking from like a lifetime's worth of experience, except for I am speaking from a lifetime's worth of experience of not doing this and trying to force everything into fruition and not trusting. And now I'm speaking from about 4 weeks of, you know, not taking methamphetamines and having like a pretty good time. Except for that, I don't like playing shows to nobody, but it didn't really matter because it was really fun to play with Marietta Lang, go bowling. So, um, so there are things to do. But the manifesting generator is like someone who, okay, so a generator, once a generator is like engaged that sacral authority and made that commitment, they're not turning around. Like, I don't know. Have you ever like started eating a bowl of ice cream and like try to stop midway through? It's kind of like that. Have you ever like maybe maybe it was sort of like, oh, whatever happens happens, and you started kind of, getting kind of frisky with somebody that you were like, I probably shouldn't do this, but I can't because like the train has left the station or something, like I'm not, you know, like that's a pure generator, right? Like don't feel bad about that. You actually cannot, once your sacral is committed, there you're just not turning the Titanic around. Whereas a manifesting generator might be like, I'm going to go for a walk, or somebody's like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? The manifesting generator gets the yes because they're still a generator. So they still have to wait to respond, right? So they're like, yes. But then as soon as they get to the door, they're like, no, that's a manifesting generator. Change their mind and meant to change their mind, right? So they're constantly like looking for the moment of truth in every moment because every moment is a choice. And manifesting generators are people who do like they are built to do like 10 things, like have 10 businesses, like have 10 balls in the air. I have 10 balls in the air and I'm meant to have one ball in the air. And I've only ever wanted to have one ball in the air. I just want to have one ball in the air. I want to give all these balls to you guys, and you who are manifesting generators can keep all these balls in the air. I'm just going to have the one ball in the air. Okay. And then all of us are going to be happier. But if you're someone who's like, no, they put you on these medicines because you're only supposed to do one thing and you're a manifesting generator, well, that's not true. You're supposed to do all of these things. You are supposed to disappoint people. You're supposed to disappoint people when you change your mind. It's almost, yeah, like a manifesting generator is going to change your mind. We all need to like, yeah, it's really disappointing when somebody's like, I'm going to come to your party and then they don't. But the thing about like the new energetic paradigm, I don't know if you guys can already sort of feel this, but like I had to get really comfortable with that when I first started playing with the band and, going out and trying to be like, oh, is anybody going to come to my show? Because here's the way it is. You do your best. And there are going to be people at your show who you like never expected to see in a million years. You're like, I can't, like Marietta Little Lion, right? Like you never thought that, or somebody that you didn't, maybe you had a falling out with like a long time ago is going to come to your show. And then there are people who you're like, oh, I'm sure I could count on them for this. Like they co-write all the songs on the record or whatever. They're definitely going to be there. And then they're not there. So the thing is about trusting that, like, if the more of us and the more you, but the more of us collectively are like living by our energetic designs, the more the energy is going to align these things up for us. And we're not going to be so beholden to, because what are we going to do about it? Like these new energy types, these new children who come in and say, oh, I do not desire to labor. Well, shit, So it's like, but that's how they are, and then we're like, well, how's that going to work? Like if everybody just does what they want and no one actually like follows through on their commitments, then what will happen to our economy, and how will it function? And it's like, well, the systems are already crumbling, and more people are like, I'm not, I don't, today I did it. I had told Diesel I would help him with something, and then I didn't have the energy for it. And I was like, no, I need to put my energy somewhere else, and I'm going to have to disappoint him for that. And it's like important that I do that instead of the other thing where I'm going against something internally. I needed to exercise that muscle and like risk disappointing him in the process. And that's just sort of, we're going to have to just just get a little more comfortable with that and just love each other through that. It's called Al-Anon. Okay? It's called Getting the Love You Want by Hardwell Hendricks. It is called Melody Beatty, The Language of Letting Go. Okay, it was like Codependency 101. That is what is up. Okay. What else do I want to say about manifesting generators? Okay, so the thing to know about generators, manifestors, and manifesting generators is that your not self theme is frustration. So when you're feeling frustrated, that is time for you to switch the gears. That's when you're doing something that doesn't light you up. You're feeling frustrated. When you're feeling satisfaction, and for me, I actually think this is synonymous with relief, right? But like that is when you want to keep pursuing that right direction. So these are energies, this is energy terms, okay? Man, you got to give yourself permission to change your mind. You're a jack of all trades. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Okay, so this is manifesting generators. Reflectors. Randall Shaw. No, Randall's not a reflector. Okay, I'm not talking about reflectors. The fourth type. Oh, do you want to hear the famous people? Oprah's a generator. Okay, so it doesn't mean that just because it takes a long time for you to make things happen, that or that period of time is longer, that it doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. That's the thing that I really want to. It's like if you learn how to work with your energy. Muhammad Ali is a generator. Fred Astaire is a generator. Beethoven's a generator. Oprah, Bill Clinton's a generator without a defined throat. Sacral, he's an amazing orator. Okay, more on that later. Madonna, Margaret Thatcher. The manifesting generators are I don't know. I wrote it down. Oh, David Beckham, Simon Cowell, Mother Teresa, Salman Rushdie, Britney Spears. So, is that right? Yeah, it sure is. Restless fidgeting, it's balancing the impulse that you have to manifest things with learning how to wait for your gut response. That's the manifesting generator. And so it's like if you're not a pure generator and you're not a manifestor, but you're a manifesting generator, you might be more one than the other, right? But it's like you're gonna have elements of both. So it's working with yourself and learning through the trial and errors of life and trying to do things differently. So projectors. Projectors are about, I love this type. Oh, it's fascinating. Projectors are about 24%. No, 20% of the population is projectors. Okay, so these are people with a lot of undefined energy centers, which I'm going to talk about one other day. And who is a projector? Randall is a projector. And Travis Darnell is a projector. If you're tuned in, let me see who else is on here who's a projector. Okay. So Travis Darnell and the only people in my phone who ever comes to this live stream are projectors are Travis and Randall. So the projector is like someone who they don't have really much manifestation energy. In terms of, it doesn't mean that things don't manifest for them, right? For them, it's just that they don't bring that, and they're not bringing their energy to it. Projectors are people who see how systems could be better, right? And they tend to be the kind of people who have to be careful not to give too much advice about things that they know could be better before they have the invitation. So that is the response of the projector. So the true nature of the projector requires and it's good to know, even if this isn't your type, but it's good to know because you're going to have these people in your life and you probably can already kind of identify who they are. But their true nature requires their ability and talent to be recognized before it is employed. Okay, so there are the other kinds of people who are like, if you're bullshitting them, it's not going to work, right? If you're like, oh, I'd love for you to give a speech at my wedding, knowing that that person doesn't have that, that is not going to work. That's not going to end well. Like, you're not employing their talents where like projectors tend to be actually very good, um, like life coaches or communicators of human design, or people who are like managers of things. Like, they rise in the ranks relatively easily because they can see how things are, but they're not self-driven, right? They're the people who just sort of like rise from an observer's position, and if they're not doing well, then they're going to suffer from this feeling of not being seen. It's like almost like a waiting in the wings situation. And so you might think like, oh, that sucks, I'd hate to be a projector. But um it's like knowing that's your energy and then learning how to work with it is can be, I mean, you can just, basically you don't have to do that much for things to just unfold and go well. So it can also be your superpower. And that's the thing I think about human design, is that is the most important thing, is like a lot of these things are, it is your superpower if you can embrace it and figure out how to work with it. So, um, let's see, they're going to be perceived as like chill, a good connector, like a good matchmaker. They're born guides. So the strategy about the projector, this is a good example. So Mick Jagger, okay, Mick Jagger is a projector, and the thing about having undefined centers is that when you're around people who have defined centers, those centers engage, right? So like Mick Jagger gets his energy from his audiences. So he'll just be like very chill, right? When he's not on stage. And then as soon as the music starts to go and as soon as the crowd gets riled up, he has the invitation, right? Like, we're ready for, like, they're like, Mick Jagger, like, we're ready for you. And then he fulfills his purpose because he's responding to the invitation. So it's usually, I think, a 24-hour period that a projector needs to wait to make sure that, they receive the information, or the invitation. So how we were talking about with generators, how like the universe will bring you options and you're meant to make the decision in the moment based on the sacral authority. Is it a hell yes or no? Whereas someone who's a projector needs to really make sure that it's going to line up with their truth, that they feel valued, and that it not be, just sort of like a spontaneous shit show. So it can feel like there is a lot of waiting involved. And I think for, anyone who's not a manifester, like the waiting part of it, then just making peace with that, um, actually becomes the thing that our society just isn't teaching us, that it's okay to like be in that magic dark. But man, we'd have to do a lot less waiting if we just got with it, because I wouldn't have spent, you know, 43 years waiting, right? I mean, we'll see how it goes. Let's check in July. Um, I have fun, I figured out a lot of this stuff already, but I could definitely be having more fun, for sure. And now it's all I want to do is have fun. So, Mick Jagger, who else? Barack Obama is a projector. Princess Diana, Tony Blair, Queen Elizabeth II, Napoleon, Brad Pitt, Spielberg, Picasso, Nelson Mandela. So like very, very like influential people. Okay. So it doesn't mean that you're identityless. It just means the energetics of what you do are going to be. Obama's a great example. Who is more chill than him, right? And then 1% of the population that makes up our humanness is the reflector. the reflector has no defined energy centers. They are really special people. I have they don't come to the live stream, but I have one reflector in my life, and I'm like learning about reflectors. I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. So the reflector is someone who they're really here to do the service to our society, to reflect back to us how we're doing, right? So if you're around a reflector, they're going to be reflecting back to you, right? What you are giving to them. A lot of them can really struggle with like, who is my identity? What is my identity? Because if they're around you, they're going to reflect you back to you, which, you know, some of us don't like what we see that way so much, but it is how the society is meant to grow and grow for the better. So the reflector, has to wait actually a full lunar cycle before they respond. And there's a lot about reflectors that I just don't understand, but we don't have any reflectors here. So I won't talk too much about it, but I can say that, yeah, they're like mirrors. They don't create their own energy, so they don't bring a lot of manifestation energy to things. They are the most sensitive of all the energy types. So you might, you know, like my friend Anna is a reflector, and she is such a good sounding board, and she really cares. You know, she really cares about all of these problems that I have. And I have wondered, I'm like, man, when is Anna ever going to get her chance to shine? Not in a cornet, but like, what, you know, because she's just, and it does seem to be that she's just like constantly looking for places where she can plug in, where she can actually be of service. And she's an incredible service that way. She's very good at being like, this system is not working, you know? And like, I think that it's interesting to be somebody who when you have these open energy centers that are that are malleable, where you're easily influenced, like you might be the kind of person where you can really see this person's perspective, and you can also really see this person's perspective, and it will be hard for you to figure out who you're going to vote for unless you're married to somebody who has a very strong opinion, and then you likely also adopt that opinion. So but you know, some people say that when they stand in front of, or like if you put a generator, a manifestor, or somebody who's like, you know, got some filled in, most of us are like half and half, right? So like if you stand right in front of a reflector, someone who's a reflector, that if you stand in front of the reflector, like you will just start to weep because of the beauty of that person and like all that they have to offer, you know, and seeing your true essence and how they're holding that for you. So there's something very, very beautiful about it. Okay. So you guys, those are the 5 energy types. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm going to keep doing this. Maybe I'll try to make it shorter. I really don't know. But I'm just going to say at this point, go ahead and send in your baller dollars. I will sing for my supper. Go ahead and send in your baller dollars though. And if you do, I will, go over your charts. Next time I want to talk about what did we say? The authority. Okay. So I think I'm going to start talking about energy centers and the authority of these energy centers. And I can talk to you about your specific authority. And we're going to do, I guess we're going to do Wedded to Wednesday. So that said, that was something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Okay, do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? Fuck. If you said Viagra, you're wrong. But yeah, more power to you. I mean, I think it can actually help with the blood flow. But this is my Adderall that I still have not taken. And now not only has it been 3 weeks off of Adderall, now it's been 4 weeks off of Adderall. And how am I doing it? Well, I'm actually not doing that bad. Like I've definitely been struggling with um just the fact that I can't always just do everything that I want to do. and then I just sort of like lose energy, or but it's the knowing of that. It's being like, oh, okay, well, I'm really tired right now. So I actually need to reassess instead of just taking some uppers and powering through things, which ultimately is not improving my quality of life. And I've always been spacey, y'all. I don't really know if this helped that much with that. It's almost like it made it worse. Like I'm just a classic generator, right? Like I take on twice as much as everybody else and then do it at half the speed. And then you put me on some drugs and then I take on 4 times as much as everyone else and then do it at half the speed. So I think there is a better way. And so far, human design is it. So I told you that if I had stayed off of it, that I would play Dr. Dealer. So for something blue, even though this is not the blues, although maybe it's a blues form, I'm going to play Dr. Dealer off of my recent release, Blood Addict. It's not sad, but it is something blue, wouldn't you say? All right. This has been Married to Monday / Wedded to Wednesday / fuck it, we're doing this on Friday, a 4-song concert disguised as a human design podcast, or just, a self-help group. I'm sorry that I couldn't read your comments. I'm really dying to know what you guys said. I don't know what you said, though. I bet it was great. I'll try to go back and read them before I sign off. Okay. I love y'all. Thanks so much for coming to the shows, Marietta Little Line. You guys, please tell anybody that you know in Columbus to come to the Rambling House. The Rambling House is closing. You know what I mean? The Rambling House is closing. That's sad. Okay. Like all the little venues, I don't know what we're going to do about the independent venues. It's just, I'm concerned for the quality of art, really. I just expect more of a barrage of just soulless, inflamed, just pyrotechnics. Anyways, I'm Caitlin Cannon, and I will see you next time. I got no filter, got no chill, can't concentrate, can't sit still. Doc says, shit, I'm gonna write you a script for 20 milligram in a little pink pill. Doctor, my healer, my doctor, oh, my dealer. The 10s are blue, the 20s are pink, just so you know. Doc, my back is killing me. Can I get a little more Roxy, please? Also got anxiety. Throw in some benzodiazepines, doctor. My healer, my doctor, oh, my dealer. I got uppers for truckers, downers for downers. Pull out your credit card, crush it in a powder. If you make it in a trailer, they'll put you in the pen. Johnson & Johnson, a Regulated doctor, my healer, my doctor, oh, my dealer, oh, my doctor, my healer, my doctor, oh, my dealer. Battling a bottle down to 2 or 3. Never gonna make it to the end of the week. Doctor, can I get another refill, please?